good. I'm just saying, you're shatters the left-right paradigm.
I understand. You're talking to you.
It's not about, I'm just saying, these are really bad people. I don't even care about your article. I want you to expose them. Or you might get fired. Anyways, what's going on?
Stepping on the sidewalk.
The New World Order is what George Bush called it. It's what Hitler called
I know,
it. It's what
dude.
H.G. Wells
I've
called
broken the law.
It's this utopia superstate idea that's been around for about 160 years, eugenics out of England. That's where it all started. My film Endgame documents that whole situation. Hitler was just what they call a bad son or a weird spinoff. It was only went after certain groups. They want an organized, controlled system where humans are manipulated. They want the resources controlled by tiny oligarchical elites. And it's just basically, at the top of the pyramid, it's a neo-feudalistic fascist model that uses socialism on the ground to communalize and get people dependent. So it's like a false socialism. You can debate whether socialism is good or not, people out there all day long. They create a false socialism. But the public thinks they're buying into it as a way to lift up the poor and stuff, but it's really designed to implode societies and to create a post-industrial world controlled by them. They want to go back to feudalism in all their writings. It was the Venetian black nobility on record that traveled to Europe, to England after they got kicked out, that set up the system that we know as the British Empire. It's not the British Empire itself, it's that system now transplanted to the United States, combined with the European Union. It's the European Union that the Bilderberg Group admits they helped found by stealth, creating three major superstates: European Union, Asian Union, American Union. All of those together erasing national sovereignty and creating a global corporate fascist model that they now admit. They call themselves in Europe technocrats. And they say it is good, it is a world government. The Financial Times of London writer, he's a foreign editor, who wrote, "And now for world government," saying, yeah, we're authoritarian, yeah, we were secret, it's for your own good, we know best. He's here today. The only press that's here are people that literally say, I want authoritarian world government. He actually wrote that. He said, yes, we're secret, yes, we're authoritarian, because we know best. I mean, that's it. This is the richest people in the world meeting with key national security, NSA people, MI6, European security heads, Von Rompuy of the European Central Bank System, and the European Union Council. They're all here. They control the issuance of money and credit. This is it. Top of the pyramid.
How does it remain so secret? How does it remain something that so few people, are aware of?
Well, because the mainstream media in the United States has never covered it until now. And first it was the Drudge Report, which I wouldn't really call mainstream media, but he helped break it out. Then the Washington Times, WorldNet Daily, London Guardian for 4 years overseas really started breaking it. That was a big deal when you guys were covering it 4 years ago with Charlie Skelton. At first, a little bit laughingly, but then he got harassed, arrested, found out, wow, this is really real. And media said it didn't exist to him. So it's the fact that they play that Jedi mind trick of this doesn't exist. And you're like, but yeah, there's limousines. And the New York Times says, no, there weren't. And they actually talk to their readers like they're idiots. So the fact that the system said this didn't exist, they've lost all credibility. They've gone over the top. If it was just, hey, it's a private Davos, then it would have been reported on, but they wanted to keep it secret because they're violating the Logan Act.
I've heard some speculation about presidents being chosen, vice presidents being chosen. What's going on with that?
Tony Blair, 2 years before he came from nowhere to become the prime minister, was here and basically certified. Margaret Thatcher even talked to Jim Tucker and people about that. The fact that Bilderberg routed her out because she wouldn't go along with him, because she wouldn't turn over British sovereignty, wasn't she? Was perfect. We've got Bill Clinton, little-known governor, comes here in '91, boom, fast-tracked. If they like it, it's on. We've seen countless others, John Edwards, Gordon Brown, John Kerry. Obama was here 4 years ago. We talked to our sources inside, people saw him. Secret Service had MP5s, lifted them up to show us. We're just out here with cameras, and they're like I'm a coward like them. I mean, I'm like, what? I mean, it's ridiculous.
You didn't know they were.
And so 6, 7 black SUVs come in, our sources. Again, we have sources we had 4 years ago in this hotel. All we have to do is call them months before, have people go in and talk to them and go, look, you're not going to talk to us now. But when they're really rude to you and treat you like total crap, I mean, if you look them in the eye, Hillary will start screaming at you. If Beatrix has this nice old lady front, you even do anything, her people will scream at you. It is just people being dressed down, just being treated like absolute garbage. Bilderberg guys were just running around going, blow Ron Paul up, kill him. Yesterday, just like getting out of their cars and they just see this as Ron Paul. And they just get out of their cars going, I want him dead. Put him on a plane, blow it up. I mean, it's just like hardcore, man.
When they talk about Ron Paul specifically,
don't you look me in the eye. I mean, imagine.
Was it Ron Paul supporters or Ron Paul specifically, or both?
Both.
The hotel source isn't political. My source, and said, yeah, they're very angry at Ron Paul. It's like an expletive. You hear a lot of that. I got that this morning after I talked to Jim Tucker last night and today, and Jim is going to publish it like next week. And he's got to vet the person who said the name, and he's checking if these are hotel sources. So we then have to, find out. Then we have to get the info from them. Just like one hotel source, if a couple was like, yeah, there's a 6'2" or 6'3", a Swedish woman grabbing people's arms. Later talked to reporters that happened to. My guys later saw it. And then we were calling her Swedish. She's actually Dutch and works for the Queen of the Netherlands up in Beatrix. So we're putting all that together. But basically, when they drive through and we scream, you're a traitor, you're a scum, you're trash, they get out and they go, this Ron Paul, damn him. And they're like doing this in front of police, Secret Service, everything. They have Marine Corps, diplomatic detail. You see them coming out in their cars in plain clothes. They're in there.
How do we know they're Marine Corps?
They came to our hotel last time and sat on both sides of me, like 50-something-year-old Marine Corps colonels, and started saying, hey, let's blow up the State Department together. And I said, and I was there with some filmmakers. They actually saw it. The guys from that film made New World Order. And the guy's like, hey, my dad's a cop. These are cops. I started talking to them. I go, no, they're Marines. They were colonels. And I said, look, guys, I'm not planning anything. They go, well, we're just here checking. And he goes, later I was talking to him outside, and he said, yeah, we're Marine Corps, assigned to diplomatic security detail. And you see all their cars. It says Marine Corps with Marine Corps State Department plates. We just videotaped some of them. And we've got them flipping us off last year, too.
Clown masks.
They were wearing clown masks. Yeah, later.
What's your response to this arrest that we just saw?
The guy was just walking around. He'd be barely. You don't normally get arrested if you just step out. It's like we're being white gloved.
That's all I know.
People a mile away are pulling up at their own hotel. And the cops are saying, you don't even walk on the sidewalk wrong when you come over here. We got them on tape coming in and saying, don't give him shuttle rides there, we'll arrest you. Shuttle pulls up, they just already pulled her over before they came to the hotel. And the woman was almost crying. She said, after we turned the camera off, she's like, I just want to not stay in America. I left this. This is what we've turned into. Is they pull her over and tell her, she starts crying after we turned her camera off, wouldn't give us a ride, breaks down crying. And minutes before I said, you watch, when she pulls up and she's late, they're telling them, don't take people here that are staying at the hotel. And then the cops pull up, go in, and on tape, we caught most of it, run in there. Richard got so angry, Richard never gets angry, of them sitting there telling the hotel, give them rides, we're going to ticket them and arrest them. And it's like, this is the new America. But it's no big deal. Yeah, they've got secret kill lists. They'll say they'll even kill citizens. Yeah, the Army admitted a month ago there is a re-education camp program. They've got it ready, but hey. And they're now telling folks, like the Indiana governor, there are some emergency camps we're setting up. Yeah, it's really nice. There's 30,000 armed drones coming, yeah. The CIA director a month ago in Wired said, yeah, we're watching you through stuff in your iPhone, your computer, your washing machine. You pay for it, yeah. There's no Fourth Amendment. It's all just in your face now. And we're like, hey, we don't like this. And the media is either it doesn't exist, the U.S., or it's funny, we're bad. It's like, look at these bad people being arrested and stuff trying to get to the hotel to cover it. Look at those bad guys over there. They're really bad.
It's like everybody here has a camera. Everyone here is filming this. How do you think that's going to change the nature of covering this? There's a lot of information.
I haven't had a chance to look at the numbers this year. I sent 2 reporters to Switzerland, to St. Moritz, and it was expensive to get there. We could hardly budget it. There were people that came from the U.S., people that lived in Europe, who were sleeping, on the grass to try to get to where they got there. There was over 1,000 people at one point by the last night there, by the Saturday evening before the half day the next Sunday. And it was just incredible. What was the question? Oh yeah. Number of, we had 3.5 million views. You can go look at it. On a Justin TV channel that had like 100,000 views that we just used every once in a while for live events. We had 3.5 million views just on one little streaming system with Aaron Dykes and Paul Watson there covering it. Sure, I've got millions of listeners every day on my radio show, a couple million, some days up to 3 million. But that's a show I've been doing for 17 years. We can just start going and doing maybe 20 live feeds, and then 3.5 million watched in the next few days, just the archives. That's amazing. You can go look at that. 3.5 million. It's more than that now. There's been a few more on there, but we're using a whole bunch of new channels as well. I have no idea how many times it's being watched. I was seeing some of the videos were like 400,000 this last few days. This is just amazing.
We're winning.
We're winning, absolutely. And that's why the mainline corporate press has been forced to come out here. I'm not talking about The Guardian. You guys have been covering it for 4 years at least. But that's why you've got the Associated Press out here. That's why you've got other outfits out here. And it's very exciting. So we're at least having a debate with the real perpetrators. We're not always facing their little puppet president or their puppet prime minister and oh, the motorcade and all the big media coverage. The reason there's not coverage of this, and I've talked to Time Warner people and others, it's because they've been told, you cover this, you're not going to get advanced. They don't even have to give them the order anymore. It's like, you cover that. I talked to a guy at Reuters 6 years ago on the phone, and he was going to publish the story. He goes, no, I think it'll get out. It's all over the Canadian papers. You got detained for 15 hours. This is in like 15 papers. This is in Toronto Star, Ottawa Citizen, front page. I can get this out. He calls me and he goes, man, you're really right. Wow, this has never happened to me. He goes, it's not being published.
Rockefeller thanked them. He thanked the media for not.
Yeah, he thanked them at that deal. And the guy said, wow, this is really real. Because he said, I'm an editor. Yeah, it was out of, I want to say, it was out of a Texas office. He said, I have never seen anything like this. So that's what's going on. They do not want this information out there. Thank you, buddy. Sorry, I'm coughing and shaking your hand. Hey, there's a lot of germs out here, right?
How you doing? All right. I know you're used to a lot of snark and kind of snooting at you, but I'm going to try to be very substantive and try to, get.
Well, I don't want to judge you by the other guys.
Everybody back on the.
No, I understand. It's a reasonable conclusion. I just kind of want to preface by saying that I'm going to try to be, it's a straight shooting.
Hey, a few snarky comments were nothing from you guys. The caller was just like 2-year-olds.
Yeah. Well, they always do that. They just send like videographers to outdoor rallies and try to make anyone who demonstrates look so calm.
Yeah, it's a demonization of people that actually care.
So
better get on the street, buddy.
I remember a couple of months ago you were one of the leading proponents of the theory. Listening?
Yeah, I am. The police are coming.
You saw it coming. Next time, do me a favor, just step out of the road. You understand? It's like giving you a warning. You understand? Thanks for staying out of the road. You don't want to step on the road. The road, we have a sidewalk. You stay on the sidewalk. All right, you're subjecting me to be in danger. If you would stay out of the street, I won't be here.
Oh, here we go. New World Order scum! Okay, we got it. We're not in the street.
It's all for our protection, right, officers? It's all for our protection.
You were one of the leading proponents.
12 inches makes the difference. You take us away to prison, but it's for our protection.
Occupy kind of nomenclature.
You're absolutely right.
To attract people to come to this.
Thank you for protecting us.
What changed in your thinking that led you to
Officer
be more
scumbags.
open to using that kind of nomenclature?
Well, that's actually a complex question from the media, but it's still not complex enough. I said from day one that the system put a lot of individual actors got the idea of go after Wall Street, which is a generalization of the core criminal insider groups that are operating.
Is that a fair question, though? I mean, that's a fair question.
Well, I don't think it's not accurate. I can see from a two-dimensional perspective that from some of what I've said, I criticized the fact that the system tried to, and I myself tried to say, hey, let's go after the private Federal Reserve, let's go after the globalists, let's go after Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, the real top of the pyramid. Not just, we want socialism, which isn't what all the people were saying. So I was saying, look out, move on, and all of them are trying to take it over. Right. So I went around and went to rallies and tried to say, hey, let's go after,
hang out then.
The crony capitalists that are monopoly people and the opposite of free market. Yeah. And so I did that. So this is yet another attempt to, yes, you're right, use the word occupy. Like, how about Occupy America? How about Occupy Freedom again? How about everywhere be a free speech zone, Yeah. So yes, I did use the terms. I thought it would capture people's imagination. Hey, let's occupy Bilderberg. Let's actually not just say, let's go occupy, any company that's been successful. Like, that's bad. Let's actually go after the insiders that are fat off corporate welfare.
And did any of your supporters kind of grimace at the use of Occupy as a slogan?
Some people were like, oh, that's that's a Soros communism stuff. And I was like, wait a minute. You can't just let somebody, if they ever use the word occupy, now they take it away. Or, see political action. And so some socialist group uses the word action, or some conservative group. I'm way past all those labels. Right. I have to use the labels to communicate with people within that context. Yeah. But I'm way outside of that. I go a la carte. Like, I want states' rights. I want property rights. I want Second Amendment rights. I want national sovereignty. I want small government. I want transparency.
Yeah.
But we're not even having that discussion now. I don't want a bunch of foreign corporations openly looting my country with banker bailouts. And just it's fine. Just absolutely hammering the hell out of us.
Quick question. Peter Thiel, one of the main underwriters of the Ron Paul enterprise.
Yes, yeah, he's the PayPal.
Is in attendance here today. How does that accord with the narrative?
It makes perfect sense.
How so?
Well, I mean, Ron Paul doesn't control who gives him money. And there's a fake libertarianism out there. First, these special interests use big government systems to consolidate their power. Now that they're consolidating everything and, quote, privatizing it, taking over infrastructure that was already built with taxpayer money. That's like taking existing roads, making them toll roads. They're calling it libertarian to have low taxes on themselves.
Yeah.
And then funding Ron Paul because they want to try to co-opt that movement.
Yeah.
But that's not doing it. I mean, giving Ron Paul money, you better agree with what he's going to do because he's not going to change anything he's doing because of the money.
Did you see elements of the Ron Paul campaign being very uncomfortable with this display of support for him? You know, there seems to be rival factions within the campaign.
Yes, there's definitely rival factions. There's a lot of people right up near the top, the younger folks. The older folks in the campaign are great. And the younger folks aren't bad. They're just, they're looking for the next job after Ron Paul sails off in the sunset.
Yeah.
And they're hanging out with the Republican establishment and stuff. And a lot of them would like Ron Paul to basically be about like Ronald Reagan, about that conservative, which isn't conservative at all.
Yeah.
They certainly, but I mean, they're not bad folks, but yes, I mean, globalism and world government's now out in the open. Financial Times, The Economist magazine, they're all promoting open world government. You probably want me to put my headphones on so I can go live on the radio and do this interview?
Yeah, we're doing a break right now, but we've all of this has been live on Skype.
Yeah, but I don't think they put that on air. Did you guys
Yeah,
put that on air?
Yes.
Hey, how did it sound? Everything good?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Because I could just see, if this.
I think it's off. They can't hear me. So that's what they're trying to talk to.
Like if this event were taking,
Live stream
We're
it now?
still live here.
I'll give it to me. I'll hold it. Go ahead.
if this were taking place at a more consequential time politically
Okay.
for Ron Paul, say like on the eve of the Iowa caucus or something, I could picture the campaign staff flipping out because they think that the media are going to come and try to get a crazy statement from a 9/11 truth person or from in the Fed or something like that. Like, how do you kind of negotiate that dynamic? You want to get him elected, but you have these kind of eccentric types that are going to be manipulated by media to make Ron Paul look bad.
I'm not even concerned with stuff like that. I mean, it isn't even on my radar screen. I mean, I cover my issues. Ron Paul's talked about false flag terror. Yes, come in with me. I'll tell folks I'm talking to Salon. Bring me in.
Anyway, are you going to be in the house or?
Okay, folks, Alex Jones here live. Salon, a reporter. What's your name, sir?
Michael
Michael what?
Tracy.
Michael Tracy's interviewing us, and he's bringing up the standard wedge issue stuff about, you think Ron Paul would like the fact that people
Alex.
are out here, and what do you think of the staffers? Some of his staffers probably don't like 9/11 truthers. All I know is Ron Paul has talked about false flag terror, that the CIA brings in the drugs, and that bin Laden did work for the U.S. government. And I just can't wait till down the road when Ron Paul puts some books out in the future, because the guy I like's Ron Paul. Just because they've got some staff members that are 25 years old and want to go work, for some old, Republican establishment person, so they've tried to keep Ron Paul away from his real constituents. I'm not even worried about that. That's not even on my radar screen. When Ron Paul's on my radio show, I don't even bring up 9/11 issues with him, because I'm talking about the private Federal Reserve. I'm talking about all the new wars. I'm talking about all the other serious things that are happening and going on. The fact that I don't buy the official story of 9/11, that is like nails on a chalkboard to the establishment.
What's your comment on the campaign staff announcing that they're going to stop?
What's my comment on the campaign staff announcing
that they're going to
say in the microphone?
That the campaign staff announced that they're not going to direct resources.
Trying to spend money.
Yeah, and that disillusioned a lot of grassroots folks, like Adam Kokesh, for example, went on a tirade about it on the internet, saying that basically proclaiming that he'd been betrayed, that these establishment types within the Ron Paul kind of apparatus taken over the message and supplanted the real grassroots momentum.
Yeah, I think this is all just attempts to tarnish the Ron Paul movement and legacy that threatens the Bilderberg group so much inside. The Bilderberg group is talking about how they want Ron Paul dead inside from multiple sources. I mean, they're running around in expletive-laden tirades against him. And what was your question? Your question
What's
was
your
about-
reaction to the reaction on the part of some that
listen,
have suppressed the grassroots momentum?
Sure. Again, that was the campaign staff saying we're suspending actively campaigning in states because we don't have the money, but we're going to continue with the delegate process to bring our issues to the floor and continue the info war. Ron Paul has won by simply going forward. And so there's not any infighting going on in Campaign for Liberty. There's none of that going on. Some of the younger, not as sophisticated members of Ron Paul's staff get baited into this stuff. I don't. We're moving forward. We're winning. More people know about the New World Order. More people know about the Federal Reserve. The corporate media has been forced to cover this stuff.
Did Rand Paul get baited into a private meeting with Romney last week?
You know what? I've been so busy that I didn't know about that meeting. They had a meeting?
They did have a meeting, yeah.
Well, I'm not surprised because let me tell you, they're looking at him for VP.
Rand Paul's going to be VP on somebody who wants on the ticket of somebody who wants to expand the size of the military.
Well, Rand has told me publicly. Sure. Rand Paul has told me publicly and during a break privately that it's probably not going to happen because he would never. Rand Paul is just repeating because we just blipped out from it on the radio. Rand Paul has told me on the air and also during a break that it would probably never happen because he's not going to compromise. Yeah. Did he have a meeting with him that you're just now telling me about? And so I'm believing you. I'm sure discussing that or something along those lines. I wouldn't be against Rand Paul being in there if he could say whatever he wanted and do whatever he wanted and talk about the New World Order. But no, that's why Rand Paul says that it's probably not going to happen because he's not going to compromise. And neither will it be Ron Paul being offered a VP. Look, Romney, we've seen one Romney sticker in Dallas. Guys, are we on air still?
Yes, we are.
Okay, because I hear dude talking. And then tell you what, you guys just do the show then, all right? That's fine. I mean, there you go. Anyways. No, I don't care. It's just that it's always like I'm talking and then they're talking over me. Come on. Like 3 minutes on air yesterday, no one's telling me I'm just talking over them. It's like, yeah. I don't know, dude. Just starts talking.
I can hear you.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's all wild. It's fun. We got record listeners. People are waking up. It's exciting. It's real.
Come on, you threw
no
me
teleprompter around here.
You threw me under the bus first thing you said on air, as if I would ask you dummy questions. I'm asking you.
These questions are all about. Well, no. Now that's a reasonable question. Your question about Rand Paul is on target. If he ends up going on the VP ticket and doesn't burst out of the gates against the Federal Reserve, the New World Order, Agenda 21 and everything, then it's a total betrayal.